both of those are in the center. Y'all gotta check this out. What's up, guys? Today we're gonna do a little a bow comparison, shooting two of my favorite bows, the Centaur Supercurve. I just got this bow and we'll be shooting today with my hunting arrow setup. This is a 500 grain deep impact, 500 spine deep impact. It's 525 grains, and I'm running a 100 grain focus system up front with a 175 field point. I'm also going to shoot a 200 field point on this one because I just ordered some Centaur big game heads, and they're a 223 weight. So I may have to retune the arrow for those heads if I decide to use them. But we'll be shooting this bow. Like I said, it's a 60-inch, 58-inch, 40 pounds at 28. And it's one of my favorite bows. So now, the other bow we'll be shooting is the Welch Dakota bow. This bow is 48 pounds at 28, 60 inches. I'm shooting a 400 spine deep impact arrow, 100 grain focus system up front, and I'm also shooting a 175 and 200 head. So we'll be getting speeds through the chronograph with all four of those arrow setups. We'll be shooting 2 to 3 times with each arrow, and just to see what each bow is going to like, and we'll be doing a little bit of after the chronograph session, we'll do a few shots down at the target and see how these bows perform with these arrows. Alright, so since I haven't shot the Welch bow in a while, we'll go ahead and shoot it with the 175 point just to get an initial speed reading, and go ahead and get the chronograph good and reading right. Sometimes I'll get these errors on here, so. .170 out of this bow with a 575 grain arrow. So that's a pretty respectable number to me. Not too slow. Let's go ahead and shoot the 200 grain head off of this bow and see how it does. .169 with the 200. Wow, that's not much difference at all as far as speed. Alright, so we'll take 2 more shots with the Welch bow. Remember, this bow is a 48 pound bow versus my 40 pound Centaur, so we'll see the numbers here in a second. But .167 with the 175 point. .164 with the 200. So the 200's a little bit slower. We have some wind blowing. It may factor in the speed differences, but for a 48 pound bow with those heavy arrows, that's not too slow of numbers right there. Alright, so now we'll shoot the Centaur Supercurve. This bow is 8 pounds lighter than the Welch bow. We're shooting a little bit lighter arrow, a 525 versus 575 grain. And let's see what kind of numbers we get out of this heavy arrow for this light hunting bow. Whew. Alright, we got an error on that one. Shot number 2 with the Centaur. .165. Man, that's a pretty crazy fast bow for 40 pounds. It's almost keeping up with my Welch bow, and y'all know that bow's fast. 165 with a 175 point. Let's see what it does with the 200. .163 with the 200. Man, I'm telling y'all, this little bow right here scoots an arrow. I'm overly impressed. You're talking about 8 pounds difference in the bow, and the numbers aren't too much. The numbers aren't that much difference. I want to see what this bow will shoot. One of my heavier. Let's shoot the 575 400 out of this bow and see what it does. I bet you it's right at 160. .158 with the heavy arrow. So the Rick Welch bow is almost 5 to 6 feet per second with a heavy arrow. 48-pound bow compared to a 40-pound bow here. This bow right here keeps impressing me every day. It's super smooth to draw, easy to hold, easy to shoot, and it's one of my favorite bows I've ever had. All right, let's get a couple more shots with the Centaur. I'm going to shoot the 400 grain again. The 400 spine arrow again. 575 grain total. .157. So I think that arrow is a little bit too stiff for this bow, but that 500 at 159 with the 500. So that's not too much difference. That, as far as a hunting speed, that's plenty fast for me. I think I can get it done with that. 163 with the 200 grain up, 200 tip up front. So even, you know, the numbers are a little bit skewed out of the chrono, but 163 feet per second with the 525 grain arrow. Well, with the 200 head up front, you're going to add 25 more to that, so 550 with the 200 out of a 40-pound bow hitting 163 feet per second. That's pretty good to me. Let's shoot these two bows downrange. We're going to step out about 17 yards and see how accurate they are. All right, so I'm going to shoot one more group of arrows. I'm going to shoot the Rick Welch with the 550 grain arrow here, the 500 spine, and then I'm going to shoot one more with the 400 spine and the 175 point. So, like I said, the 200, you're getting about 575 grains with the 175 on the 500 on the 400 spine, and we'll have about 600 grains with the 200 head. So let's shoot the 3 arrows out of here. This is the 400 spine 575 grain arrow. 162 out of that one. That's crazy. It's not that fast compared to the 40-pound Centaur Supercurve. And I've always said how fast this Rick Welch bow was, but that Supercurve is holding its own against this heavier weight bow. All right, this is a 600 grain arrow right here. .165 with the 600 grain arrow, so that's pretty fast. And now we'll shoot the 550 grain arrow here. .176. So with the 550 grain arrow out of this bow. I think it's more of how you hold it in that chronograph too. I'm getting some different numbers, but this 40-pound Centaur would be just fine as far as taking hunting out. I wouldn't hesitate at all to bring this bow into the woods with me. And for how comfortable it is to shoot and how easy it is to shoot, I'm telling you, y'all keep an eye out for this bow. I'm going to be carrying it with me a lot this season. All right, I got to get one more number with the Centaur and see what it'll do. .163. 164. Alright, I'm gonna get close up on this one and see if the numbers change any. .162. So this bow is an average 165 feet per second shooter with a 525 grain arrow. Alright y'all, let's shoot some accurate shots with this Centaur Supercurve. I'm going to get a sideways shot with it because I was asked by one of my followers to get a side view of the Supercurve shooting. And we're going to do just that. And y'all watch those limbs on this bow. They really start to perform when they get in that back tension. And you talk about a fast straight arrow right there. I let down a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Let's do it again. That was with the 200 point right there, and it was plenty fast. You could still hear that arrow zipping through the air. Let's shoot the Rick Welch bow. Woo! And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The Centaur is actually shooting that arrow flatter than this bow downrange. That arrow it looked like it was a little bit quicker, but the Centaur was in the middle where these shot a little bit low out of this bow. Alright, so each of the bows shot well. I want to do one last little comparison. We're going to shoot the same broadhead out of each bow with their with the arrow set up for the bows. This is a 500 spine. The broadhead's a 186 grain broadhead, so total arrow weight's about 540-ish. And let's shoot this arrow at the Reinhardt target. Oh, pretty good shot right there. That arrow was screaming. Now let's shoot the same. We got a good wind too. Let's shoot the same broadhead with the Rick Welch bow. I'm gonna shoot this one a little bit. Try to hit a little bit to the right, but see how it does. Alright, so I keep getting a low with this bow, and the arrow went exactly pretty much in the middle where I was looking, but it hit low. But as far as my hunting bow this year, you guessed it, it's going to be the Centaur. There's something about that bow, it's just, I love it. Alright, let's shoot two more arrows with the Centaur. We're going to shoot for the middle of the block Reinhardt target. The Rhino block. Man, that was a good arrow right in the middle. That was crazy. That was that 200 point too. That was a 200 field point, and that thing landed right in the middle of the target. Arrow flew straight as heck. Boom! Both of those are in the center. Y'all gotta check this out. The 175 landed a hair above the 200. This little bow right here is a shooter, I'm telling you. Alright, so these were my two arrows. They're right in the center of the target. If you're looking at the front of it, both of them are in the black dot. So, with this bow, this Centaur 40-pound Supercurve at 17 yards, is sending both of these arrows into the middle of the target, and that's super accurate, just fine. We have two different weight arrows, a 525 versus a 5. This is a 550 grain with the 200 for this bow, and y'all can see this. The 2 points are quite a bit of difference, a 175 versus a 200 point. And this little bow will send these arrows downrange just fine. Alright, so one main reason I keep doing the broadhead test and shooting a heavier point, the 200 today, is because I just purchased a set of the Centaur big game heads, and they are a 223 grain total weight. So if I could get the 200 point to tune with this arrow, I may could shorten it up a hair, and we'll be able to use this same arrow and shoot a heavier head. It's gonna, it's gonna be a little slower, but we're talking about another 25 grain. So you're losing, you're losing maybe 5 feet per second total. It's not enough to change anything. So you're talking about a longer broadhead, about this long. They're skinnier. They have a good sharp point on them. The big game heads I'm talking about. I'll show you all a picture of them here in the next clip. And they're just going to be, I think they're going to work out for me. I'm going to have some confidence in all my Centaur stuff this year, starting with this Supercurve. If y'all are interested, I'm actually fixing to sell my 38-pound longbow. I'm thinking about buying, if I could find it, a little bit heavier Supercurve, like in the 40s to 47. I had one before. It was a little bit too stout for me, but I think that bow will be just one I like a little more. I like the longbow. It's an awesome looking bow, but I'm telling you, I can't get over how this one looks. It's just a different bow. It's one of the best bows I've ever had, I'm telling you, and I love it. It's super smooth, it's fast, it sends an arrow down range quick, and it shoots them flat. So anyway, y'all check out all my future videos coming up. I'm gonna shoot this Rick Welch bow 2 more times. We're gonna shoot the Centaur 1 more time as well with the broadhead, and we'll shoot each with the broadhead, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Put this one in the middle of that Reinhardt target. Whew, man, even where I hit a little bit to the left, that was a good straight flying arrow with that broadhead. I can't ask for more. Let's do it with the Rick Welch. We're gonna shoot I'm gonna shoot a different spot with this bow. We're gonna shoot a little bit to the right in the middle with this bow, so I won't hit my other arrow. Alright, I don't know what it is, but my knock point's up, and this bow does not like where I'm holding. It's every time I shoot it, that arrow drops off like crazy compared to that Supercurve. I'm telling y'all that if I had a little bit heavier Supercurve, it'd be even flatter. It'd be more of a faster flat shooting arrow than this thing ever thought about. So I think I made my choice. Y'all know I love the Supercurve, and that's just how it is. So appreciate y'all watching my video. There's going to be a lot in store here in the future. I have one good pig hog coming on camera in the morning time. I think he's actually driving all the other pigs away, so hopefully we can maybe have a chance at him. I'm actually gonna go set up some food right now and see if we can get him baited up for in the morning. I may go try to jump in the tree about 5 o'clock or so and see if we can catch him while he comes in there. It's a big boar, so he's a pretty hefty pig. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time. Boom! Both of those are in the center.